Okay, so this video continues off of the last one and talks about finding ebooks within the library's collections. So the biggest area our library has been growing our collection in the past several years has been our ebook selection. So if you're looking for things that have been published very recently, there is a good possibility you're going to be looking for an ebook as opposed to a print book, that we are rapidly growing our electronic collection. Ebooks are fantastic resources. These are things that we have fully paid for. You have complete access to the books, and you can access them from anywhere with internet access. So it's a really great tool for your research when you can't make it to the library. So when you are searching with your keywords and you have already limited to books as your filter, you are going to get things that are ebooks that say available online, as well as those print books. If you want, you can just click under this availability over here on the left, available online, and it will knock out that selection of print books, so you're only bringing up our ebook selections. To access an ebook is really simple. You click on the title, and it brings open this item record. So instead of having information here about what collection it's in the library and the call number, you get, if you scroll down a little bit, that is online access, which gives you the database that the ebook is available through. We get ebook packages from a lot of people, but one of our biggest vendors, and that you're going to see a lot, is this Ebook Central Academic Complete. Sometimes when you click on that link, if you are off campus, it might ask you to log in, especially if you haven't logged into Primo already, which would be a ridiculous idea because you're limiting your search to weird results if you don't log into Primo, so you should be logging into Primo. But it might also bring up this page asking which library or which university you're with. Search for University of North Carolina at Pembroke. It will come up, and then it will take you to this page. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. Typically, it only asks you this once for a computer, and then it remembers that, oh, you're at UNC Pembroke, and so it takes you directly to the item record within the database. So you're in this ProQuest Ebook Central. It's one of our vendors for ebooks. Your options for reading this: majority of our ebooks, you can read the book online, so you can just click and open it within the browser. You can also download the ebook for some of them. This one is not available for a full download. You can only download one chapter at a time. A lot of our books within ProQuest Central are available for a full download, to where you can download the entire ebook. When you're doing that, to do a full download, you do have to sign in, which means you have to create an account. Let me actually go back and see if I can find one. Sorry. Not that one. Climate change indoor. All right, so this one, Climate Change, the Indoor Environment and Health, is available for a full download. So you see when you click on that link over here, it asks you to either create an account or sign in. It's free to create the account. You just got to create a username and password, and then it will let you either download the book as a PDF, or it will download it as an EPUB document. Benefit of downloading as an EPUB, that is going to be able to be read on a Kindle or an ebook reader on your tablet or computer, and so it's more formatted for mobile devices as opposed to a full PDF document you have to scroll through. So if you've ever read on like a Kindle or a Kindle app on your phone or something like that, these are things that it would be formatted for that. So if you like to read that way, and you can annotate and you can highlight with an EPUBs and stuff like that, that is a good option for you. What I prefer, though, is scroll down. You get the table of contents of what is included in this book. And so this is where I'm going to give you a little librarian tip. Lots of times students resist using books within their research because they feel they do not have time, or they don't want to read the entire book. And professors' initial knee-jerk reaction to that statement is, oh, you poor babies, of course you have to read. You're in college. That is part of this. And there's truth in that reaction. But there's also sometimes truth in students' complaint. This is a 10-page research paper I'm writing. I don't have time to read a 400-page book for that. Librarian tip: you might not have to read the whole book. And so this tip is to be taken with a heavy dose of common sense. Sometimes you have to read the whole book. If the entire book is on your topic, you have to read the whole book. If your entire book is for a literature class, you have to read the whole book. But if you are writing about specifically air quality in terms of climate change and how it's affecting air quality, perhaps we just want to look at chapter 4. And so most of our ebooks have a table of contents to where you can look at the chapter titles and skip ahead. And so you can skip ahead, read chapter 4. You have a really good scholarly resource for your paper. Your professor is going to be impressed because you're using a book, and you didn't have to read all 300 pages of the book when the rest of the book isn't on your topic. So you need to take this, like I said, with a heavy dose of common sense. It is better to read more and to be able to get the whole picture than to read less. Even if you're only reading one chapter, I always say it's a good idea to read the introduction to the book because that's giving you an overview of the entirety of the book. Perhaps look at the conclusion sections. Definitely look at their citations and where they're getting their info and stuff like that if it's at the end of the book as opposed to the end of each chapter. But yeah, you don't always have to read the whole book. Maybe you need 1 or 2 chapters on your topic, and that's totally an acceptable academic practice to read those 1 or 2 chapters in depth and skim over the rest of the book to get an idea of what it's about. So when you're looking at ebooks, look at this table of contents, what is included within it, and then you can, instead of having to download the whole book, you could just download these 50 pages instead. And so you have this download PDF option out here to the right of the chapter titles. So ebooks bring you fantastic resources. Books in general bring you fantastic information. They're good for foundational knowledge. They're good for giving you a broad overview of topics. They also can give you more in-depth looks at topics. So whereas articles tend to, particularly peer-reviewed and scholarly articles, tend to pick apart a very minute detail of a subject areas, books can tie together broader ideas, but they can also go into more depth into information. So you get broad ideas, but you also get more detailed info into a topic. So books are fantastic research. You should definitely include them in your scholarship and research that you're doing for papers. Don't leave them out. For your final project, hopefully you've watched the final project video already. Your final project, you have to have at least 2 books in your annotated bibliography. They can be print books the library owns, but they can also be ebooks. I would at this point strongly prefer ebooks because you are not coming to the library to access the print books. So I'd rather you look at the ebooks. This is how you're getting to those. You're going to find books, you come to Primo, you type in your keywords, you limit to books. If you're looking for ebooks only, you limit to available online. The books that you are using in your final project have to be books owned by the Livermore Library, so keep that in mind.